The 21st of April 1918 begins misty and drizzly. Air operations are mostly suspended until after the morning mist dissipates. When the fog clears, Entente and Central Power forces send up aircraft for routine sorties to support the ground battle on the Somme around the Australian sector, in anticipation of an upcoming German advance. At 09:35 hours, 15 aircraft of 209 Squadron RAF take off from Bertongle, France. They are led by Canadian Captain Arthur Roy Brown, A Flight Commander. He is joined by friend and novice pilot Lieutenant Wilfred May, Lieutenant Francis Mellersh, and 2 other A Flight pilots. Flights B and C take off at 5-minute intervals respectively. About 30 minutes later, 2 RE8s of 3 Squadron Australian Flying Corps take off from Pullainville on a photo reconnaissance sortie. They complete their task taking photographs of the front lines below. At 10:25 hours, 2 aircraft of B Flight of 209 Squadron, led by Olivier Bout-Leboutier, engage 2 reconnaissance aircraft. One is shot down in flames by Lieutenant Taylor, while the other is driven away. While this skirmish takes place, Jasta 11 of the famous Flying Circus climbs into position on their patrol of the lines. The 9 triplanes are led by the most successful aerial ace of the First World War with 80 victories, Rittmeister Manfred von Richthofen, known as the Red Baron in his trademark blood-red Fokker Dr.1. He is joined by Lieutenants Hans Weiss, Joachim Wolf, cousin and novice pilot Lieutenant Wolfram von Richthofen, Oberleutnant Walter Cayus, and several other experienced pilots. At 10:45 hours, Jasta 11 attacked the 2 Australian aircraft. While outnumbered, the pilots and gunner duos, Lieutenants Simpson and Banks and Garrett and Barrow, are highly experienced and know how to work together effectively. During the fight, Lieutenant Weiss is seen to take damage and abandons the fight. This is initially claimed to be Richthofen's aircraft, but reports of later combat quickly disproved this theory. The 2 RE8s eventually escape the German squadron. After reforming with several aircraft from Jasta 5, Richthofen's squadron and Captain Brown spot each other near Le Hamel. Brown warns A Flight and turns to engage head-on. An intense dogfight breaks out as the two formations clash among the clouds. Mellersh doggedly follows a triplane and damages it. Mellersh is then attacked by enemy aircraft, but these are expertly driven away by Brown. As the furball rages, B-Flight arrives to reinforce the British aircraft. After some time, May spots an aircraft separated from the fight and attacks. It is Wolfram von Richthofen. Seeing his cousin in danger, Richthofen dives from his position above to intercept May. The inexperienced May is caught out and quickly falls into a spin. Richthofen breaks his own rule and follows May down on a dangerous if not suicidal flight path low behind enemy lines, perhaps intent on confirming his 81st victory, or being influenced by the effects of his head injury suffered the previous year, makes a brash and impulsive decision. Brown, who had noticed May fall from the fight, observes everything and follows the chase along the Somme River. May now zigzags for his life, skimming low over the water and avoiding the Red Baron's attacks as much as possible. The low-level chase continues towards Vaux-sur-Somme, where several Australian anti-aircraft positions are located. Brown chooses his moment and dives at maximum speed towards the below aircraft as they pass a pontoon bridge. A Vickers machine gunner, Sergeant Cedric Popkin of the 24th Machine Gun Company, 11th Brigade, 2nd Australian Division AIF, watches the action above while some others begin firing on the red triplane. Initially unaware of Brown diving behind him, Richthofen continues to attack May. For many years, it was believed at this moment that Brown shot down Richthofen. However, this was certainly not the case due to the incorrect bullet trajectory later found in the Red Baron's body. Brown aggressively breaks away to the left, giving May the opportunity to escape. By this time, one or two of Richthofen's guns jam, and he turns for home. However, as he turns right near the factory of the Sainte Colette brickworks, he comes under intense and concentrated fire from Australian anti-aircraft positions. Sergeant Popkin fires at the right-hand side of the triplane. This is now largely agreed by historians to have been the fatal shot. Richthofen rears up and rolls. He then falls almost vertically, switching the engine off and tries to make a forced landing. The mortally wounded pilot lands, seemingly still controlling the aircraft, but after a first bump, it stalls and hits the ground hard without input. Richthofen comes to rest as soldiers rush over, but he dies as they reach him.